Hello and welcome back to my channel, Jordan Mind, Body, and Soul, where we learn to take care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And if you are new to my channel, then my channel is about how we take care of ourselves in ways that are going to promote health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, a clear mind, meditation, anything that we need to better ourselves and our tribe. So, welcome, relax, take a seat, enjoy, and let's indulge in some conversation. Let's get right into it. So, as you already know by the title, this video is a part two of another video that I'm posting, or a series of videos called The American Dream or The American Scheme. And again, this is part two. I would recommend that you watch part one first, just because the conversations are going to build off of each other. So there may be things that I've already mentioned about the whole idea of the American dream or the American scheme that I'm not going to touch in this video because I've already discussed it. But it's gonna start. So my whole idea with it is to start with the problem and build up to a solution, so that us as tribe can have some type of resolution to a problem, not just venting about it. You got to get off your chest, you got to vent, but so we can also put actions toward helping ourselves live our best, happiest, most beautiful lives possible. So, building off of the previous video, that was more so just looking at the structure and reality of life, capitalism, and a little bit of corporate America, right? Um, I then began to think about the reality of getting ahead and what getting ahead means to me. And so, after pondering it for a while, what I realized, getting ahead to me is getting to a point to where all of your needs are met, desires can be met, and now you have extra time to either figure out your next step, your next move, or other streams or ways of income. You're ahead of the game. It'd be the same thing if someone's going to give you a head start. They're giving you just enough they're giving you just enough space to where you should be able to win. You should be able to get to your goal faster, but it doesn't always necessarily mean you will. So with that consideration, then I thought about things that help people get ahead, right? And then I started to think about the dialogue about old money versus new money. So old money is when, if you don't already know, there's already generational wealth built into your family network, where you somehow in some way have inherited, a small loan of $1 million, and that pushes you way further ahead than most of your cohorts. Um, and me personally speaking, I have had a beautiful upbringing. I've had privileges of experiencing different trips and cultures and all this stuff because of the hard work of my father, right? So, in a lot of ways, I look at myself and I say, okay, I've had these privileges. Even the act of going to college. Like, I remember I had a professor who always says, college itself is a middle class thing. So all of you guys being like, oh, I'm broke, oh, I'm poor, or I'm this, please keep in mind and understand that the action of attending college itself is a middle class thing. So regardless of where you think you came from, what you think you've been through, you are now considered to be middle class. Looking out in perspective of once you graduate and whatever happens to you after that, you have touched the realm. And I can dive into that in another video because I have some conflicting views on it, but he's right in a sense. Like, you are now engaging in middle class stuff, basically. So anyway, so getting ahead again would be when you have these opportunities and these privileges that other people don't have. And it drives me crazy that today in 2024, we still have to explain to people how they have privileges and who the people are that have privileges. Like, I don't understand how people don't know that now. And it's just confusing to me. It's baffling that people really sit there and I don't have it. No, why? What? Maybe you don't use it, or maybe you don't have it in the sense of you demanded it and you are using it on purpose, but you benefit. You benefit from it. So with that, all that in consideration, and again, this is why it's important to watch the first video first. I really do feel like you should watch part one. Um, when you're thinking about getting ahead, right? For me, when I'm thinking about building a lifestyle of living comfortably where my needs are met, desires are met, and now I'm like, okay, now what's next? I have extra time. Do I want to take a trip? And I'm not talking about people, because there's some people who live above their means. I'm talking about I'm living below my means and I still have excess and I still have room to still grow and explore and figure out other revenues. A big thing that I realize is happening now is that people are trying to get ahead. People are trying to say, okay, let me advance myself. Let me go to college. And then they're going to college, they're graduating, and then they're thousands of dollars in debt and they can't find a job. So it's like, again, you were told this is what you should do. You want to get ahead, do this. And you did it, but it's not working out for you, right? Me, I have coworkers who have coworkers. I have classmates who I graduated with who have master's degrees now, and they're working in their field maybe, but they have a part-time job as well. It's getting to the point where the reality of getting ahead isn't what it used to be. Previous generations, and even like I feel like our generation, until we like had our awakening, there seems to be some type of collective awakening that the only solution to getting ahead used to be just work, just work, just work. You want this amount of money, you want this much amount, okay, then that's going to be 60 hours. Then you need to pick up some part-time. And we used to be like, okay, until we saw people who hit the right move once on TikTok and now they're a millionaire. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we're hitting the point where we're like, the reality of getting ahead is no longer work, physical work. What can you do? What can you do to get ahead? And then so that's when I also realized that for us, for our generation, and just for people today in general, you're gonna need multiple streams of income. You're gonna need multiple streams of income. Um, And any successful business person that I see, celebrities, anybody that you see, they don't do just one thing. They have one thing that may have gotten them to where they are. Maybe if they were a rapper, they have one thing that made them pop, which is their music. But now they have, a clothing line, or now they have a deal with Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? Like they have something that also brings them that income as they're still getting their, is it residuals with music? I think, is it still called residuals? Like when you get y'all let me know. But whatever they're getting from the music that they've already made, um, they're still getting that. They're still profiting off of that. So now they're not relying on just one income anymore. They're not relying on just that one income. And that's what I feel like we really have to do. And it's important to build, like they say, some type of system or some type of revenue where your money can work for you, where you don't have to do the physical labor anymore at some point in order to get that extra income. But the reality of it, right? Because that's what this video is about. The reality of it is it's hard, and you're going to have to sacrifice something. I am in no way saying being an entrepreneur or finding your own business or creating your own business or branching off on your own is the easier route. That is not what I'm saying. But what I find it to be accompanied by is freedom and passion that you can have that you can't necessarily express at somebody else's place of work. Because at the end of the day, you just work for those people. So another collective that I saw after, well, I seen it way before, probably about a year ago, when people were having their rants about inflation. And then also just me looking at the needs of a person, right? So to get ahead, right? Before you even wake up, if you have a place to stay, you're in debt that much. So let's say you got a place that's $1,200. Before you even think about where you're going to go to work or anything else, a necessity that we find is that we want a roof over our head. It is crazy to me. It is crazy to me how many people I personally know at this moment in time that are homeless. It's astonishing, and it's sad because it's like it's multiple people. It's not just one person. I'm like, yeah, that person or this person. No, it's multiple people, but it's like it's true. The cost of living, that's just having needs met. Then food. So now you have a place to stay and now you have food, right? But minimum wage is, I think it's $15 here in Texas, but rent is 1,200. How? Rent is 1,200 minimum, and that's just like maybe a decent place. I know people who have, and my apartment's nice, y'all. It's nice, okay. I'm living in my means. It's a good place, but I know people who have something that is smaller in square feet and is an older property, and they should not be charged as much as they're being charged. And that's just rent. That's not their phone bill, that's not their car note, that's not gas to get to where they need to go, that's not car insurance, that's nothing. That's just covering rent. Okay, then so people are like, well, find another job that pays more money. Like they always say, it's going to be easier for you to move to a different company even in your same position and get paid more than it is to keep to stay at the company that you're at and then get their 10-cent raises every 5 years. What's that going to do? So, again, like I said, these conversations are to help me vent and help me work through it, but also as we build tribe and as we build community, have other people give their thoughts and their opinions and their experiences. Because I know that I'm not alone. I know that there's millions of people experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing, feeling the same thing that I'm feeling. But if we're not collectively in the same spaces to share and organize our information, then we're just venting, we're just ranting, which is important too. Get it off your chest. That's my biggest thing. Get it off your chest. But what's the action that we're gonna put into getting ourselves out of the situation? We're like, okay, we're in a bad situation. We noticed it. We acknowledged it. So what are we gonna do next? So to tie this up, in terms of the reality of getting ahead in society today, I have come to the conclusion that you need to do something you're passionate about so that if you do have to pick up extra work or you do have to do more labor than you really want, it's at least important to find something that you kind of like to have a job that you're like, okay, I like it enough. Maybe I don't love it. Maybe I don't see myself. I think our generation has kicked the idea of being like, I've been here for 15 years. I've been here for 30 years. I've been here since 99. Like, it's gone are those days. Gone are those days. Because, again, it's going to be easier for you to make a lateral move than for you to stay at your same company in your same position. And they're like, okay, I can give you 75 cents more, but you're going to be doing triple the work. What kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? And these companies, like, y'all, like, they really need to have conversations of like how to operate and work with humans, because this country wasn't even built on the idea. The country wasn't even built on the idea of making sure that people who built it were comfortable. Let's be real. They lived in horrible, terrible conditions. They were people. Yeah. And so because the country wasn't founded on that, I don't expect them to just automatically learn it, but it should be a desire. But people don't feel it until it hits them. Again, watch the first video, because that's why when you boycott or you strike your company or other companies, that's when they're like, oh, we're willing to listen now, because you hit them in their pockets. But until then, they're not willing to listen. Why does it always have to result to that? Why can't you just listen when we ask you nicely? But again, so we're building off of the idea of the reality of getting ahead. And the reality of it is going to be tough. Oh, it's going to be hard, but by all means necessary, I'm going to make sure that I do that for myself and for my family. And then also promoting other people to get ahead and other people to live in beautiful conditions. I feel like there's so much beauty in this world. I'm not gonna lie, like I've really experienced some horrible people, some really bad situations in life, even at my young age, like things that I'm just like, I never even talk about. But I feel like there's so much more beauty, and I tend to be more positive and look at the beautiful things because they're fun. They're pretty, and sometimes it's harder to experience when you have so much chaos around you. That's why it's so important to meditate. That's why I make sure I make these meditation videos and these yoga videos, because again, this channel is about mind, body, soul, full scope, y'all. We need to make sure we're taking care of everything. We can have important dialogue like this, but we also need to be able to stretch and do some yoga or do some meditation. It's a full circle. It all really does tie together. You know, we can have fun like this, but we need to be able to do some nutritional planning, whatever the case is. But y'all let me know what y'all think. What is the reality of getting ahead today? What does that look like to you? What does that mean in society? Is it realistic? Are we just in a state of exhaustion? Like, what is going on? Y'all let me know. And please don't forget to take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Watch part one if you haven't already. Enjoy this one and let me know what you're thinking. And then get ready for the next one, because I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.